Hi everyone, this is welcome to the second part in data science and machine learning video series. Today I would like to talk about continue my last discussion that I talked about data engineering and data science job, a skill set, what they do mainly, and of course it's different from company to company. I will give you a general idea. And now today I want to talk about the machine learning scientists, and machine learning engineering. And then in the part three, I will talk about the research and applied scientists, or research scientists mainly, and the software engineering. But now let's talk about the machine learning engineer slash scientist slash scientist. All right, scientist. All right, so machine learning engineering first. So what is a machine learning engineer? Machine learning engineer, there might be many definitions of machine learning engineer. In the industry, sometimes called MLE as well, machine learning engineering. So this is my definition of machine learning engineer. Machine learning engineer is a software engineer with background in machine learning. Machine learning engineer is a software engineer with background in ML, in machine learning. Now here should background in machine learning. All right, so now that we know what the machine learning engineer is, it tells us what they do. Machine learning engineer usually they work on productionizing ML model. They are able to write a production level code. So they write production ready level code, production ready code. What else they do? They also build and develop models to answer business use, to drive business decision. All right. But the first two are very important: productionizing ML model, right, and production level, production ready code. All right. So what does it mean? So should have a software engineer skills. What the skill set do they have? So the skill set they have, the skill set is as follows. So they need to know software engineering skill set. All right. Software engineering skills. Well, what does the software engineering skills? What are software engineering skills? Software engineering skills are they need to know algorithm. They need to know data structure. They cannot keep using, if you're using Python, they cannot keep using list or data frame. They need to know that something that has a constant plus cost of reading, like they need to understand concept of hash map of dictionary concept of and Python. They need to know, and by algorithm I mean dynamic programming, various search, depth first, breadth first search, sorting algorithm, and all this sort of stuff. And data structure, for data structure, they need to know hash map or dictionary. Okay, so Python if you only do Python, but it's not only Python. They can do C or C++ and Java. We'll talk about the skills that they should have. Um, you want to know heap as a data structure, linked list, and many more. Now, of course, in the algorithm and data structure, right? Now, about the program language. So Python for machine learning engineering, Python software engineering might be different, but Python right? But now, first let's talk about software engineering skills. We're talking about software engineering skills. Software engineering, maybe C++, maybe Java. But they need to work as like a software engineer as well. They need to have a software engineering bar as well, right? Maybe JavaScript if they want to work in a backend system, or TypeScript. Maybe knowledge of cloud knowledge of cloud, AWS, Azure, GCP, knowledge of cloud. So like AWS is very common. Knowledge of AWS is very common. So they should be able to be familiar with some of the AWS system. Some of the AWS system I'm talking about EC2. I'm talking about Lambda. And maybe develop or prototype model in SageMaker, and familiar with the SageMaker best practices like creating endpoint, batch transform, things like that. All right. So then we go to they need to know machine learning models, literature. Remember data science I talk about that they should know machine learning. Now, data science was very wide. Machine learning is machine learning. They should know machine learning model literature, right? So for example, some example of that, they need to know XGBoost, for example, random forest, neural network, and so many they should be familiar with PyTorch, TensorFlow, Keras, and like scikit-learn, different packages in Python. So machine learning engineers usually they don't use R. So the language that they use is Python. They need to be familiar with Python because they run this machine learning model. Software engineering skills, machine learning skills, Python, and then so then they need to kind of be able to write a production level code. So they should be good at programming. So I mentioned software engineering. I will write one more thing here in software engineering here. Number 5, good coding skills. I will write coding skills. Right. So that's what construct a machine learning engineer. It's a very popular job family. And some people are confused what it does and what it is. It's a software engineer background in machine. We can think of it like that. And some of the skills that I told you actually is it's here like a software engineer skill set and the machine learning, be able to fit a machine learning model, be able to troubleshoot a machine learning model, be able to understand what the model is telling us, and have a knowledge of definitely Python as well, because that's usually is used for machine learning. All right. And also one more thing I want to mention, this is number 4. Number 4 is be able to deploy ML model to production. What does deploy mean? Be able to, all right, so you develop a model, a machine learning model locally, let's say in SageMaker, Amazon SageMaker, right? And then, so locally you see the result. You can see, but you develop a training model, you predict that, you see some numbers, right? Deploy is that to put it out there that other people can see the prediction through some means. Like some people use Django or Flask for deploying models to production, right? Some people have an external server to do that. You can deploy it on AWS, right? You can deploy model in AWS. There are different skill set here that you may need. You can create a Docker image there, and then there are different ways you can actually deploy model to production, right? So this is actually very important skill set that machine learning engineering is have, because software engineering is to have this, right? In different organization, different companies are different. But one of the skills that a software engineer needs to have, I will talk about the next video series, is that deploying model to production. It doesn't have to be machine learning model, but deploying model to production. Okay, usually that model is developed by scientists. All right, great. Now we go to so this MLE, by the way, is very important and very common job family actually in the big tech companies like Meta, Amazon, Google. In Google actually is framed under the software engineer or software engineer slash machine learning. Amazon is machine learning engineer, right? All right, now let's talk about machine learning scientist. Machine learning scientist. All right, so what is machine learning scientist, guys? Machine learning scientist is a person typically with a advanced degree, graduate, like master or PhD or something postdoc, right? And the person is the definition I would say is that I would say research scientist. Background in ML. Another one definition. Another definition: a machine learning engineer who does research. Right. There are some definitions that may or may not have overlap with this, but there are different definition of machine learning scientists. The definition that I like a lot is a research scientist background in machine learning. Because research scientist can be physicist, it can be a chemist, research scientist can be a biologist, right? Research scientist is a very wide job family. Research scientists can work in quantum computing. Research scientists you can be pretty much anything. You can be research scientist means a person that is doing research, right? So the degree that machine learning scientists have, they mainly have PhD or graduate degree. And sometimes they have postdoc or even work as like an academic faculty for years, and they become research scientists. Or machine learning science, like it depends on the background they have, is in machine learning or not. Now, what are the skill set they have? So maybe this actually help skill sets. This help identify the difference between these data scientists and ML engineer, machine learning. Right. So one of the skill set the machine learning scientists have is ability to do research. I'd never mentioned this in data science. I mean, the data science can be something you're machine learning scientist. Depends on the job, but mainly that's not the case. I didn't mention it for machine learning engineer. I didn't mention it for data engineer. Ability to do research. That's why this will mainly have PhD. Ability. What does it mean? It means read and analyze research articles. To understand the machine learning literature and prior work in the domain where prior work where ability to write conference journal papers. I will write something here, paper, I will move it here, patent. It's something like that. And then I going to write conference journal and patent papers, and also ability to write and participate, and also participate in participate in conferences, workshop, etc., and present their work. You see this? I never mentioned this before. It's a big difference. All right, so that's the first thing. First difference. The machine learning scientists, they have to do research, write paper, write publication, present their work to a wider audience, and it's like they are subject matter experts in the field of machine learning, right? So the important part is a research part. Important part of machine learning scientists. They are scientists. The degree that they have, usually they have PhD. Most machine learning scientists I have seen, they have PhDs. Okay, that's the first. Programming language, the dominant one, they use Python. Dominant one. Because in machine learning scientists, first I write Python. So understand, this is a big important thing. More advanced ML model and the subject matter expert in one area. All right. So Python, I'm gonna mention why I only say Python. See, understand the more advanced ML models and be a subject matter expert in one or more area. What does it mean? I have to break it down here. Meaning that they need to be expert in one of these fields. This is not exhaustive list. Computer vision, natural language processing, I would say causal inference, because you can do it through graphical model. I'm gonna write the graph because there is a causal inference toward potential outcome, which usually is for economists. They don't really use graphical modeling. Reinforcement learning, and then many more. You can say the generative modeling based on a statistic. I don't know, the federated learning, and there are self-supervised learning, explainable AI, and many more. All right, and now, so what's the important thing here? So guys, the thing is that, if you want to do computer vision, if you want to do natural language processing, what's the dominant language? It's Python. It's not R. You barely see someone do computer vision with R, or someone does computer vision with C++, right? I've never seen someone does reinforcement learning with R. Graphical modeling is possible, but to be honest, the whole area of graphical causal modeling or a structural causal model, there are packages in R for the structural learning or causal discovery, but still Python is a dominant thing because they can be modeled with the reinforcement learning. They can like many things you can do with that. So that Python is a dominant language. So you see that I said Python, and I only said Python because you need to be able to do modeling this stuff in Python. So I already mentioned it, but I will mention it again. The subject matter expert in ML. In machine learning engineering, be proficient in machine learning modeling. Like there is a difference to prototype gradient boost or like put a gradient boost model in production, like do fast stuff, everything to be fast, efficient. You research everything. We're not talking about those stuff right now. But here you need to be subject matter experts in machine learning. And we're not talking about gradient boost, like more classical ML. We're talking about more advanced or neural network type models, right? So here when I said Python, I'm gonna do like TensorFlow, PyTorch, lectures, and etc. All right. So it's a huge difference. Now, like for people that are interested in machine learning science, well, you see, it's very different actually from data scientists. So it's not really, they have overlap. Depends on the company, they have overlap. But now, this time, the point that I was trying to make here by these videos is that you don't look by the job title. You search by job title, perhaps in LinkedIn or in the internet. But then when you read the description, it says that, for example, be expert in computer vision, natural language processing, and have a publication in NIPS, ICML. This is perhaps a machine learning. This is perhaps a research, like a science job family, right? And usually they have Python. So machine learning scientists, I haven't seen that they require to know SQL or database, but some companies might need that. They know SQL. So I would write it as may need to know SQL and other database languages. Now, nowhere near data scientists. Depends on, of course, company, as I said, but this is not expected. The companies have different definition of these things, but this is general trend in the industry for machine learning scientists. Highly regarded, highly respected job family, machine learning scientists. Usually they have a higher degree or more advanced degree than the other job families that I talk to. I will talk about research scientists and applied scientists and software engineering later on. But I want to just make it clear that research scientists and machine learning scientists, when you see them, they're mainly the same. But research science is wider. Research science can do everything. Like research science can be subject matter expert in time series, the subject matter expert in causal inference. Like myself, I myself consider myself pretty strong in ML, causal inference, and time series. So I can apply to machine learning scientists, like I work as machine learning scientist, but I work also as a research scientist, right? So research scientists can contain machine learning scientists. I talk about that further. Now, where can they work? Pretty much any big company. There are machine learning scientists pretty much anywhere, not even the big. Like a startup companies have a machine learning scientist role. Amazon has a big investment on machine learning scientist role. Google does have. Meta has it. Netflix, Microsoft, biotech companies, quant companies, something they call it quantitative researcher, or that can be actually be in the field of like a similar to research scientists, but if they do machine learning, they can be like machine learning scientists. And yes, and this is how you see that the difference that they have with machine learning engineer. There are some similarity, but they're widely different. They're very different from machine learning. And also data scientists. And that's the point I'm trying to actually make with these videos. So thank you so much for watching these videos. Please like, subscribe, and share the video, and comment. Do comment anything you need, or anything that you think is vague, or you think is unclear, or you have some, you want to make some discussion about some of these topics, or you have some topic in mind that you want me to make a video about that, right? So I'm planning actually to make a video about these interview practices and how to apply to some of these big tech or other companies in the domain of machine learning and data science. But please like, subscribe, and share this video. And I try to make another video about the research scientists and software engineering job family. So thank you so much, and see you all later.